Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is IRWorksMTG, and today we're going to be doing a replay of our most recent league, which we 5-0'd. That's my first ever 5-0. Now, I'm pretty new to MTGO as a whole, so I've only been playing for maybe 2 months, and I play, I don't know, like a couple leagues a week. So this is kind of a, I know it's not a big deal to a lot of people, but it's a big deal to me, okay? So anyway, we'll get through this deck tech fairly quickly. I'm sure, unless you've been living under a rock, you're pretty familiar with Lurrus of the Dream Den. So this is the new tech in, I want to say the new tech in Jund, but this is just the new tech in Modern. And I suspect that this card is going to get banned if it continues at this rate. Pretty much every deck in the format's playing this. A lot of decks can just play it for free, and then the decks that can't play it for free are warping their decks to be able to play it. So if you're not super familiar with the deck as a whole, basically the companion condition here is that we have to have all of our permanents in our starting deck cost 2 or less. So we can't play Blood Raid, we can't play Liliana. The way the companion mechanic works is it's like kind of like a commander that lives in our sideboard, and it's effectively an 8th card in our hand. So Lurrus of the Dream Den is a 3/2 lifelinker, and it says during each of your turns you may cast one permanent spell with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard. So the idea is we load up on some key permanents like Mishra's Bauble. We can use this as a solid draw engine with Lurrus, especially since it costs 0. We're playing Seal of Fires, which end up turning into Punishing Fire effectively with Lurrus. Nihil Spellbomb to fight the mirror-esque decks, which you see a lot of. We've got an Unearth and 3 Kolaghan's commands because this deck really wants to have Lurrus in play. By sacrificing our top end, we've become a little bit more reliant on it, but it's been seemingly worth it so far. I've got a split 4/2 on Inquisition Thoughtseize. Now, I've noticed a lot more people gravitating to a third Thoughteize. I think that's slowly becoming the standard, but I'm pretty stubborn on this 4/2 split in Inquisition's favor. And in my opinion, this is especially important now because Lurrus is so popular that Inquisition is just hitting everything. And I don't know, that 2 life can matter. Like, I've been facing burn a lot. I'm pretty adamant that this is the correct split, but I understand going 3 Thoughtseize, and I think that's viable too, but I don't know. I'm pretty convinced this is correct. We're playing 2 Fatal Push. This is exciting to me. We're playing 3 Dark Confidant. I was playing 4 not too long ago, but I'm happy to be on 3 Dark Confidant. Again, it's been a long time since me and Bobby have been so well acquainted in Modern, and it's one of my favorite Magic cards. We're on 3 Wrenn and Six, 2 Trophy, 2 Decay, 2 Kroxa, 4 Tarmogoyf, 2 Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze gains a lot once again. Lurrus. We want to play low curve cards. Scavenging Ooze, I think, making another comeback. We're back to Scavenging Ooze and Dark Confidant and Jund. Feels good. And we're playing 3 Kolaghan's commands. In our mana base, we're playing 20 lands. I see a lot of people on as many as 22 lands. I really think 20, maximum 21 is the correct number. We just turn through our library so easily between Bauble and Dark Confidant. Wrenn and Six picks those lands back up, and we can really function well hitting a 3rd land. The most we ever have to spend is 4 for Kroxa Escape, so I think 20 lands is correct in this deck. Moving on to the sideboard, we've got 3 Brutality, 1 Cratemaker, Goblin Cratemaker, which has been really impressive. 2 Boil, 3 Pillage, 2 Veil of Summer, which is another upside to not playing the mighty Bloodbraid Elf. We've got Lurrus, of course, he has to be here. 1 Engineered Explosives to reoccur with Lurrus, a Nihil Spellbomb, and a Tormod's Crypt. I see a lot of people playing another Nihil Spellbomb in this spot, which might be correct. But I like the Tormod's Crypt here. I like the option of being kind of mana efficient here with the Lurrus. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into some gameplay. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Okay, guys, and here we are for our first match, and looks like we're playing against an opposing Lurrus deck, and we're pretty happy with our opening hand. The classic GB curve out, we want to have that 1-2 punch of Inquisition Tarmogoyf, we've got it, and multiple hand disruption spells are also really nice. Being able to, especially if our opponent mulligans, being able to discard multiple cards is a lot more powerful. We're happy to keep this, and let's start this off. We're going to lead with an Overgrown Tomb, and we're going to Inquisition our opponent. So our opponent reveals to us they seem to be on either, so this is either the exact Mirror Jund, or we're playing against some sort of rock Lurrus deck, maybe Abzan, but in any case, it's a GBX Mirror. So here we just take the Thoughtseize pretty happily, with plans of taking the Tarmogoyf on the following turn. We play a Mishra's Bauble, and that's going to reveal another Tarmogoyf. So we pass the turn, Bauble's going to trigger, and it's going to draw us a Tarmogoyf. Sweet. Sounds good to me. Our opponent baubles. You're going to target us, I believe. They fetch. They play Swamp. Or sorry, not Swamp. Blood Crypt, rather. And it's back to us. So their bauble is going to trigger drawing them a card. And we draw Thoughtseize for turn. So now we could play Tarmogoyf here. Yeah, we could play Tarmogoyf. Or we can double Thoughtseize, and that strips away both of his Tarmogoyfs. So I dig that a lot. And that is exactly the line we take. So that's going to leave him with exactly a trophy, double trophy. So he's got double trophy, double land will be his hand after this. And yes, double trophy is a way to deal with 2 Tarmogoyfs, but it's not a very efficient way in that he's giving us a resource, and it does matter giving us those lands, especially when we only have 2 lands. We don't have access to a 3rd land yet, so we're very happy to leave him with these Assassin's Trophy, take away his Tarmogoyfs, and just have a nice proactive game plan. We want to be able to beat up our opponent, have him on an empty board. And sorry, the replay client's giving me a little bit of grief here. Okay, I'm gonna try fast clicking this. This turn we just play a Bloodstained Mire. That's right, we play Bloodstained Mire, play Tarmogoyf, pass the turn. Our opponent drew a Fatal Push for turn, so that's a little unfortunate. He gets to push our Tarmogoyf on the end step. But we hit our land drop anyway, so it's not so bad. Here he's going to run out his Lurrus and bauble us. He gets that value. Lurrus, really good. Okay, so now we draw Fatal Push. We've got a couple options here. Now we could play Lurrus, bauble, and get that immediate value. Or we can play Tarmogoyf. I think that's the worst line, just playing Tarmogoyf and having it up. Or we can deal with this Lurrus. I think that dealing with this Lurrus is paramount. Because then he'll get to bring back his Tarmogoyf. We just want to shut down value whenever it's possible in this matchup. This matchup's all about just slowly grinding value where you can. It's about 2-for-1s, and it's about good top decks. So here we decide we're going to play Kroxa, escape it, or not escape it, but rather it's going to activate Revolt. We push, and we pass the turn. Also, he discards Assassin's Trophy, for reference. So our opponent draws off the Bauble. They play Blackcleave Cliffs. We draw a second Tarmogoyf. That's fine with me. Okay, so, sorry, replay's giving me a little bit of grief here, once again. So here we play Tarmogoyf. The reason being is we just want him to spend the trophy. I could have played Lurrus there and just got some value off the Bauble, but I would like a little bit more value. I'm fine with him just hitting this Tarmogoyf and giving us a land, especially if we are fortunate enough to draw another land, then we get to go Lurrus plus land, get our Tarmogoyf back, and that's just a pretty solid play for Lurrus to recoup a creature. So here we draw Abrupt Decay. I'm happy to do that's fine with me. This turn we attack, I believe. We attack, tempting the trophy. We play a second Goyf. He's going to trophy now. My opponent does nothing and passes turn. So here we draw Peatland. So first we send in the Tarmogoyf just to see what our opponent does. And then this turn we're going to play Lurrus. And Lurrus is going to buy back our Tarmogoyf. So this is exactly what we were talking about. Now our opponent does something seemingly like greedy. Because he had the option to bolt Lurrus and get it off the board. But he's just going for the win here. So he bolts us twice. My apologies, that went by a little quick. He bolts us twice, puts us to 3, and he's attempting to just kill us now with a bolt off the top. He's got no cards in hand. Let's see how this goes. And the answer is, it doesn't. We get to win this game. And that is game 1 for you, and we'll see you in game 2. Okay, guys, here we are for game 2, and we're going to talk about sideboarding really quick. So for the mirror, I took a very classic approach, which is to board out all of your hand disruption and just bring in whatever your best top decks are. So we brought in 2 Veil of Summer, which are great in the matchup. We brought in Cratemaker, which we can get value out of, a little bit of value by reoccurring with Lurrus. It can deal with a couple of their threats if they're playing Dark Confidant, whatever. Engineer Explosive is pretty good in the matchup, especially if we can reoccur it with Lurrus once again. We've got Nihil Spellbomb and Tormod's Crypt to deal with their sideboard, or with their graveyard rather. And we just take out the hand disruption because the theory with that is that in the late game, it's a bad top deck. I mean, yes, it can take a K command. It can take some. You can do some clutch things with hand disruption, but for the most part, we just want it out because we can assume that in most cases we're going to get to a grindy state, and top decks are going to matter. And a top decked Thoughtseize is just going to lose us the game. So, this hand, I believe we do keep it. This is fine. When you mulligan in the matchup, you immediately put yourself at a disadvantage. Again, this is all about resources here. Veil of Summer is a lot better on the play because we get to negate an Inquisition or Thoughtseize if our opponent decides to keep them in. But I'm happy to keep these. They basically represent 2-for-1s. Yeah, I'm happy to keep a Double Veil. Seal can interact. And we can buy it back with Lurrus. So we've got removal. We've got basically potential mini cryptic commands, and we've got threats in Tarmogoyf and Scavenging Ooze. So we do decide to keep this, and our opponent's gonna start us off. He's gonna play an Inquisition and take our Seal of Fire, which surprised me a little bit at the time, but it makes sense if he has a Dark Confidant to protect. So here, I believe we just say Verdant Catacombs and pass the turn. Opponent plays Verdant Catacombs. Overgrown Tomb, and we see a Dark Confidant come down. So, this is bad. Dark Confidant on the draw, facing a Dark Confidant on the draw, rather, is pretty rough because it means that playing our threat isn't very good because they get to start generating card advantage before we do. So we really just want to rip a removal spell here. Unfortunately, we don't. We hit an Nihil Spellbomb. So I've got redundant Scavenging Oozes in the Tarmogoyf. My thought process here is that maybe the Dark Confidant will lower his life total enough that this Tarmogoyf can cross the line. And the two Scavenging Ooze will fight over food. So here I just play my land, put my Scavenging Ooze into play, and pass the turn. Okay, so our opponent's going to reveal Bauble off of his Dark Confidant. He plays the Bauble, plays the Verdant Catacomb, fetches, and we see Wrenn and Six. So this is a nightmare. This is exactly where you want to be in the mirror, where you've got on the play with 2 card advantage engines. So this is looking really bad for us. He still hasn't played Lurrus, and he's got a Mishra's Bauble in the back. So yeah, it's all looking really bad. We haven't had a window for our Veil of Summer to be good. Our opponent's done an excellent job of positioning himself, and he has a very powerful hand. So he's going to Bauble us, see what we're up to. We draw Abrupt Decay. So unfortunately we missed a land drop, but we did need this removal. We were just in such a spot where like nothing we drew was going to be particularly great. So I can't complain too much about this Abrupt Decay. I do decide to Abrupt Decay this Wrenn and Six over the Dark Confidant simply because the Dark Confidant can be dealt with via Seal of Fire, Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push, etc., etc. The same thing goes for Lurrus. So our opponent reveals Thoughtseize off his Dark Confidant. He Thoughtseizes away our Nihil Spellbomb. And then the card advantage engine just continues. He plays Lurrus, he plays Bauble. We are very far behind on the board, on card advantage, on everything. There's just not a lot we can do here. And so we wait to see what we draw. I'm not sure what we're looking for. It's just a Bloodstained Mire, and I believe here we just decide to concede. And yeah, we've lost the game. I mean, there was an argument to continue playing, but I'm really just not doing anything here. And next turn, he goes Lurrus. Sorry, I could have waited to see if he did exactly this and made my opponent play correctly, but he could Lurrus buy back the Wrenn and Six, and now he's got Lurrus buying back Bauble every turn, Wrenn and Six buying back a land, and Dark Confidant drawing extra cards. Yeah, we're just at a huge disadvantage. So that's game 2 for you, and we'll be right back for game 3. Okay, guys, here we are for our game 3, match 1 versus the Mirror, and this looks like a keep to me for a couple reasons. The main one being that we really just don't want to mulligan when it's not necessary and we have a functional hand, and this is a functional hand. It has a couple threats, it has all the colors of mana, and Bauble's nice with Lurrus for value, and we've got a removal spell. So it's got a little bit of everything. This is fine, but primarily we don't want to mulligan in the Mirror because, in a nutshell, it's really a resource game before anything else. So I'm going to give you a fair warning here. This match, I'm having a little bit of trouble with the replay client, so there's going to be some times where I kind of skim through some stuff. So here we go, Bauble, tapped Overgrown Tomb. No reason to run out the Blackcleave Cliffs here, and we want to crack the Baubles during their turn to kind of cushion ourselves from hand disruption, because otherwise we would draw during their turn, and we would show them all of our cards. But he doesn't play hand disruption, he goes Nihil Spellbomb, Mishra's Bauble. We're going to Bauble him on his end step, and it's going to reveal to us a Kolaghan's Command, which is a very good card in the matchup. We're going to draw a ball of our own, and this is the part where the replay doesn't really want to cooperate. So I'm just going to explain what happens on this turn. I believe that we draw Fetch Land? No, we draw Nihil Spellbomb. Anyway, we play the Goyf. We play a second Bauble, and we pass the turn. So yeah, there's the Spellbomb. We play Goyf. We play a second Bauble, and we'll pass the turn to our opponent. So their Spellbomb, notably a little bit annoying, because now if we draw Lurrus, Spellbomb threatens to kind of empty the yard. So we want to get into a position where we force him to crack the Spellbomb for no value. At least that's my philosophy here. Again, it's all about the value. He goes Tarmogoyf, passes the turn. On the end step here, we're going to Bauble him, and it's going to reveal Scavenging Ooze. So we know about Scavenging Ooze and K command. Okay, so our Bauble is going to draw us a card. It's going to be Unearth, and yes, the replay client is doing that thing again. So this is turn 3. We're going to play Lurrus. So we draw fetch land. We grab Stomping Ground. We play Lurrus. And we're really just trying to force action on this Spellbomb. We're just trying to get this over with. And this is the best window to do it, because he won't be able to cycle the Spellbomb to draw a card and replace itself. But he doesn't do it. He lets Lurrus hit the board. We get another Mishra's Bauble, which is good, because that means that we're drawing a card. So it kind of works out either way. I think that our opponent's patience might have been correct here, because now he gets to a window to use the Spellbomb to eat Lurrus, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid. He does have the K command, so he's going to be able to K command our Lurrus and eat it with the Spellbomb, which is what he does. We're going to Mishra's Bauble him on the end step also. It reveals Wrenn and Six. So we've got a trophy here, so our plan... And again, it's pretty much this whole game. We just have a little bit of difficulty. So we know Wrenn and Six is on the top of his library. We draw an Engineered Explosives off the Bauble, and we draw a Kolaghan's command for turn. So here, what we're going to do is just Assassin's Trophy this Tarmogoyf. It's going to, make our clear the way for our Tarmogoyf to get in and grow it, and more importantly, it's going to shuffle away this Wrenn and Six, which is a nice value piece that we just don't really want to fight against. So there's our Kolaghan's command for turn. We Assassin's Trophy, we attack, we play a Spellbomb, and we pass off to our opponent. Okay, our opponent rips Inquisition. Pretty nice here. Pretty good window to do that. He steals our Kolaghan's command away from us. Also, Bauble has been pretty sweet for stuff like that. Just seeing what they have and like knowing how to time your hand disruption. It's very nice. So we Bauble them. It reveals Thoughtseize. We've got a Scavenging Ooze here. And we draw a mountain. And again, this replay client. So here, we're going to attack with the Tarmogoyf, and then we bolt the Ooze in response to him fetching. So there goes the Ooze. That way he can eat one less thing. That's why we wait to respond to the fetch land. Maybe the Ooze isn't in play when the bolt hits it. There wasn't a second creature to eat, but I still think that's just good practice. And this part is a little bit of a punt. He plays Lurrus, and we just don't crack our Spellbomb. There was no reason to not crack our Spellbomb here. It was simply just a mistake, because now he's going to get to bring back his, I believe, his Tarmogoyf. No, he goes for the Scavenging Ooze. So we Spellbomb here just to clear out his ditch a little bit. Which might also be a little bit hasty, but it's what we did. I believe we were fully tilted here. I was like, oh my god, why would I do that? And our opponent has a Thoughtseize. So that's pretty punishing. He gets to take this Wrenn and Six from us with his Thoughtseize. Makes me kind of reconsider... just considering how good we've gotten at drawing cards and gassing up, maybe there is a little something to hand disruption in this matchup nowadays. So this turn's pretty sweet. We draw a K command, or sorry, we draw a K command. We hit his Lurrus, and then we attack. Sorry, we cycle the Unearth. We draw Dark Confidant. I forgot that part. And then we're going to K command, attack with Tarmogoyf. Opponent's at 2. He's going to eat his own Lurrus. He's going to eat our Wrenn and Six, trying to shrink our Tarmogoyf. He's got no cards in hand, though, so opponent's in a pretty bad spot. He's being forced to chump block with the Scavenging Ooze, but none of that matters because we just draw the Fatal Push and the game is over. We get to push this Ooze, and that is good enough. Alrighty, guys, here we are for match 2 in our league, and we'll be on the play. This hand's perfect. This hand's really, really strong. We've got Inquisition into Wrenn and Six paired with a fetch land, and we've got Abrupt Decay as a removal spell. And we've got a couple of Mishra's Baubles, which synergize with our Lurrus, so we're very, very excited to keep this hand, especially in the dark. This hand's just going to be good against most things. So we Inquisition our opponent, and sorry, we went through that a little quickly. We Inquisition our opponent. We take up one of their 2 light up, take away one of their 2 light up the stages. I'm just not super afraid of Bolt at this time, but I might not feel so great about what they draw off the light up the stage. And we're not applying a ton of pressure. We do have kind of a slow controlling hand with this Wrenn and Six, so I just want to stop them from. And this is where our opponent main phase bolts us. I'm not sure why he would do that, but that was his play. So our Bauble's going to trigger. It's going to draw us a mountain. We're going to play Verdant Catacombs, fetch, and we're just going to grab Forest here and run out our Wrenn and Six. We'll play Bauble. We'll Bauble our opponent. It's going to reveal Sacred Foundry, which is really bad for our opponent. They're flooding a little bit here, and that's all we need is for them to stumble through these turns. So we draw Tarmogoyf off our Bauble, which is excellent. Our opponent's going to bolt us main phase to turn on Spectacle for light up the stage, and they find 2 lands. So this is really, really good for us. So we're going to crack our Bauble. Okay, we draw Lightning Bolt off the Bauble, which is good, and Inquisition. So all of our top decks are total fire here. Here, I'm not sure if I didn't track properly, but I actually Inquisition them here. I think I should have known that they're the entire context of their hand, so I shouldn't have Inquisitioned here. But it ends up not mattering at all. We just play this Tarmogoyf. Again, everything we're doing here is just crazy. We got 2 removal spells. We've got the Wall of Tarmogoyf. We've got the Inevitability of Wrenn and Six. And we've got plenty of life. Our opponent's got 2 lands off of Light Up Stage. So we had the nuts. Our opponent had some pretty bad luck, and that was a pretty decisive victory. Not very close. So we take that one easily. And let's go right into game 2 here. Okay, so for this game, we're going to be on the draw. Okay. Oh, yes, and I guess we should talk about sideboarding here. So we cut 3 Bob, 2 Thoughtseize, and 1 Wrenn and Six for this matchup. I think Wrenn and Six is pretty poor in the matchup, especially on the draw. We brought in Cratemaker, 3 Brutality, the Engineered Explosives, and a Nihil Spellbomb. Now, we do only have 1 land here, but I think the payoff is really, really high. Some of our best cards are in our hand right now. We've got a removal spell, an Inquisition on 1. We've got a redraw of Bauble, and that helps score our Tarmogoyf. If we can make it to the mid-late game, Scavenging Ooze can take over. Yeah, there's a lot to like about this hand. All we have to do is hit any land, really. And our hand is super active, and we've got plenty of chances to do it, especially on the draw. We get to draw a card, we've got Bauble for a redraw, and then we've got 2 natural draws for our turn. So our opponent goes Goblin Guide. We hope that he shows us a land. He does not. He shows us Abrupt Decay, but Abrupt Decay is Abrupt Decay is not bad. Again, if we hit a land, we So our opponent shows us Abbot of the Carol Keep. I think that I'm a little out of touch with these Prowess decks. I didn't know that they were on this Abbot plan right now, but they are. So Inquisition, we take one of his 2 Goblin Guides just because it's a creature-heavy hand. I expect him to just go double Swift Spear here, so we get to save 1 point of life that way. And if he shows us a land, that's good enough. All we need is 1 land. I don't need 2 lands off the guide. The guide damage will add up. So yeah, sure enough, he plays the second Swift Spear. He's going to whack us for 4. And he gives us a Blood Crypt. We draw a mountain, and I believe this turn we... Okay, so we're going to Brutality, and what do we discard? We discard Spellbomb. Oh, wait. What? Where am I? Oh, no, sorry. I'm a whole turn ahead. Spoiler alert. Sorry. We play Tarmogoyf on turn 2. Tarmogoyf's going to hold off this wall of creatures. Yeah, we could Brutality there, but I think it's better knowing, for the most part, the context of what's going on here. We know they have an Abbot, and they'll have an Unknown, so they can cast maximum 1 spell. So they're not going to get through this Tarmogoyf wall. So they just play the Abbot here. He doesn't have a third mana source, so he just can't play spell. He's brick walled here, so yeah, we draw the Nihil Spellbomb. We cast Collective Brutality. We're gonna discard Spellbomb, and we're gonna take out the Abbot. That might be, looking back, it might have been better to just take the Goblin Guide or a Swift Spear, because Wrenn and Six can ping this Abbot. But in any case, that's the play. We take this Abbot out. We drain gain him. And here we're going to pay 2 life to hold up a Lightning Bolt. And we're just going to stay back with the Goyf for 1 more turn here. Next turn we can deploy a second Goyf. And we can start getting to work. So our opponent plays a Fiery Islet. We're going to bolt the Swifty on the end step here. We play a tapped Blackcleave Cliffs. In comes the now 4/5 Tarmogoyf. And we're just going to play another Goyf here. Okay, our opponent's going to cycle, draw a card. Plays another Abbot. He's going to Burst Lightning us. Get his Prowess triggers on. And again, I'm not sure about our opponent's plan here. I don't think it's worth throwing away one of his creatures. He attacks here. He gives us a Wooded Foothills, and we just block the Swifty. Now the pressure's really on for him. We've got 10 power on board. And we just, I believe, decay. No, we attack here. He's going to block. We 5 him. We play Lurrus. And that's good enough for our opponent. Between Goyf, Lurrus, we're holding up Abrupt Decay in case we need to remove something. I don't think that's going to be the case. Like, I mean, I guess if he shoots our Lurrus, I think I'd trade with this Goblin Guide, gain 3, and then just crack back and kill him, obviously. But yeah, pretty decisive, easy victory there. And we'll see you in match 3. Okay, guys, here we are for game 1 of match 3, and looks like we're going to be on the draw, and see what we're up against. Okay, so we see that our opponent's on a Lurrus deck. So right away, I think my hand's pretty reasonable. We know it's going to be a grindy matchup, so we're sticking to the philosophy of trying to keep a hand if it's functional. And this hand's functional. We've got all of our colors of mana. We've got a Spellbomb to mess with our Lurrus, and we've got a threat in Tarmogoyf, some card advantage in Kolaghan's command. So we're happy to keep this, especially on the draw. More cards, more good. So our opponent Inquisitions us and steals our Kolaghan's command. So it's looking like we're playing against the Mirror once again. we are going to bauble ourselves to inform what land we should play. So we see Dark Confidant on top. I'm happy to keep Dark Confidant. So with that in mind, we run out the swamp and we play Spellbomb. Okay, our opponent rips another Inquisition. Here he's going to take our Tarmogoyf. We draw Nurturing Peatland. We're going to fetch here. And we're just going to play our Kroxa. Reason being Kroxa over Dark Confidant. So they took our Tarmogoyf. So that signals to me that they have some sort of removal spell that can deal with Dark Confidant, but not deal with Tarmogoyf. So like Bolt or Wrenn and Six or Seal of Fire. And I just don't want to get my Dark Confidant W6 tier. So we just play Kroxa. Let's see, pitch here. I believe it was, yeah, it was the Seal of Fire. Let me just adjust this here. Okay, so he pitches Seal of Fire. And we pass the turn. So here he plays the Lurrus, and here we run out one of our two Dark Confidants. Now he did play the Seal, but we have a redundant Confidant. Sorry, he played a Seal. I still suspect he's got something to deal with the Confidant because he knows about it. But now he's got Lurrus. Now here's where I punt, unfortunately. All right, upkeep. We should be spellbombing him, but we do not. Or even on the draw step. We go to main, and my plan here is to respond to him casting the Seal of Fire. I wanted to spellbomb it. There was just this idea in my mind that he had to like target it or something, and that I would have an opportunity to spellbomb it, but it just says cast the spell. So that was me making a mistake, and just learn from me. What else can I really say here? But we do get value off the Spellbomb, I suppose. We get to draw a card, but unfortunately he plays a Seal. He kills our Dark Confidant. Really, really bad news for us. And now we figure out he reveals a Death Shadow. So he plays Death Shadow. I don't know how I feel about playing Death Shadow here because he knows that we're on stuff like Wrenn and Six and Lightning Bolt and etc. etc. So he's giving us the opportunity to kill this Death Shadow. But maybe he'd just rather us kill the Death Shadow than the Lurrus anyway, which I guess is fair. But it's still somewhat questionable in my mind. Also notably, Lurrus and Death Shadow, quite the nombo. This thing just can't really attack, or it kills off his Death Shadow. So here, I believe we play our Lurrus. Oh, okay, the client's giving me a little bit of trouble again, so my apologies. Let me refer to my notes here. So yeah, I play the Lurrus. I get this Spellbomb back to get rid of this Seal of Fire, and then I run out my Bauble. So this is a Spellbomb. We get rid of his Seal. We play the Bauble. Unfortunately, he's got the Tar Fire. Okay, so back to our opponent. He's going to cycle that Nurturing Peatland. He's going to play Bloodstained Mire. He's going to fetch. He's going to grow his Death Shadow. He's going to Inquisition us. That sucks. He takes our Unearth. I was pretty cool with playing Lurrus that turn because the last turn, because I was like, okay, well, if he kills the Lurrus, then we can Unearth the Lurrus, have access to 3, possibly 4 mana, and bring back our Tarmogoyf, who should be pretty dominant on this board. No. Nope, not happening. He just had the removal spell, but I shouldn't be surprised. He is a very... He's pretty Jundy. He's kind of a Jundy boy, right? So he reveals Abrupt Decay. Or we see Abrupt Decay, rather. And then we draw Abrupt Decay of our own. Pretty happy to draw Abrupt Decay here. So my plan here is I'm going to play this Dark Confidant. And I'm going to hold up this Abrupt Decay for the combat step. Reason being is there's nothing in his graveyard currently for Lurrus to target. He does have a Bolt, so he bolts our Dark Confidant. Which is nice. Nice little mana efficient play for him. He gets to still hold on to that. Now we know he drew the Abrupt Decay. He attacks with the Death Shadow. I'm going to hold off here. I'm going to wait for him to maybe spend a Battle Rage, and then we can get like a 2-for-1 in. That doesn't happen. We take the 4, and now we know that it's safe to Abrupt Decay this Lurrus. So that's what we do. We draw an Inquisition. Okay, we take the Abrupt Decay. It's got land in hand, and here we're just going to escape our Kroxa. Now, this is going to put Kroxa on chump block duty, but we do need to eventually kill him, and having him at 3 is nice because we can escape Kroxa again, get him to 3, and then if we draw a bolt, we get to win the game. So that's kind of my thought process here. We can't exactly, like, a Death Shadow attacking for 4 is still bad for us, right? It puts us to 1, and then that puts us in range. So I think that this is pretty, growing the Death Shadow isn't really that risky. Like, we need to win the game, right? Okay, so here we draw Assassin's Trophy. That's a great rip. So we just kill this Death Shadow. We know our opponent's not playing Temur Battle Rage, or not Temur Battle Rage, but rather Stubborn Denial. He runs out of Tarmogoyf, passes the turn. So that's a big Tarmogoyf. We play this this Kroxa rather, seeing if it can. I'm trying to be very careful. See if this Kroxa can do 3. He cannot, but we do snag that Battle Rage. That Battle Rage would have killed us. And Kroxa just on chump block duty here. Sad fate for our Titan. And here, I got a little excited and clicked through. We could have cycled that Nurturing Peatland, and it might have been pretty good for us. But we do top deck a Tarmogoyf, so our deck's cooperating. Okay, our opponent doesn't have much. Well, he has a Death Shadow, which is pretty good. But Death Shadow is not Fatal Push, so if we get to keep living, there we cycle our Peatland, we draw Verdant Catacomb, and then we draw Dark Confidant for turn. And here we're just gonna escape this Kroxa, because I am once again asking him to chump block. And sorry, we played the fetch land in realization that we didn't want to exile our Lurrus if we didn't have to. Okay, and again the client's being a little. Where are we at here? Escaped of range. Okay. So yeah, we escaped the Kroxa. Okay, now it's our opponent's turn. They play Spellbomb. They're going to get to take away our Lurrus. So we're not going to get any sweet Kolaghan commands buy back our Lurrus lines. So he goes bye-bye. And he attacks with his Death Shadow. Now, I know he doesn't have push, because if he had push, he would just try to kill us here, right? He would push our Kroxa or our Tarmogoyf and send both in and threaten lethal. So we know that's not the case. My thought process here is there's no reason not to double block, because if he has a Battle Rage, we're dead no matter what. And if he doesn't have a Battle Rage, then we get to just trade one of our 2 creatures for his Death Shadow as opposed to jumping. So this just is the line, because either we're dead or we're not. So we just kind of get to eat the Death Shadow. Okay, we draw Tarmogoyf, which is a great draw. We attack with Kroxa in an attempt to just end the game here, because we know he doesn't have Fatal Push. We know he doesn't have Temur Battle Rage. We know he doesn't have a creature, because he would have just played any one of those spells, right? So we're going to send in this Kroxa. It is going to fail to kill him. He has a Thoughtseize in hand, which makes sense. He blocks, killing our Kroxa. And then we're going to run out Tarmogoyf. And yeah, so we run out Tarmogoyf. I'm not going to run out the Dark Confidant here, because I'm just afraid that like it could kill us on our turn. It's just kind of a liability. It gives them the option to just pass the turn and win the game. And it would have. So we draw Scavenging Ooze here. And we'll run that out. Just simply pass the turn. Here our opponent's going to play a Grimflayer. And drum roll, we draw a Fatal Push and the game's over. Alright, so that's game 1 for you. And we'll see you for game 2. Okay guys, here we are for game 2 of match 3. And before we start, let's talk about the sideboard. So, my sideboard plan here is to take out 2 bolts, 2 Thoughtseize, and an Inquisition. This is a lot like playing against Jund, so I think I like the idea of cutting some of the hand disruption, but I decided to keep a little bit in because it's nice to be able to take the Shadow, take the Battle Rage, take like the weird little combo-y stuff they can do. Lightning Bolt is really poor in the matchup, it just grows the Death Shadow. But I still want access to ways to kill Lurrus, so we kept the Seal of Fires, and also Seal of Fires has synergies with our Lurruses. So we chose to cut the Lightning Bolts as opposed to the Seal of Fires, or in light of the fact that we're still going to have Seal of Fires, cut some of the Hand Disruption, but keep a little bit in. So kind of like a hedge sideboard plan. We brought in 1 Engineered Explosives, which is excellent in the matchup. We brought in a Nihil Spellbomb, a Tormod's Crypt, 2 Veil of Summer. So yeah, there's our plan. Okay, so our opponent's going to mulligan to 6, and what do we do here? We also mulligan, because we're just really light on action here. So yeah, we mulligan. Oh, I don't have to hit that. Okay, and we bottom the Blood Crypt, because we can fetch it back later. Okay, so our opponent goes Bauble. They Blood Crypt, or they play Blood Crypt. Tapped. Pass the turn. So, forgive me. Forgive me. Now, this wasn't lack of knowledge. This was not lack of knowledge. This was a literal misclick. Oh, we're going through this really fast. This was a literal misclick. Let me explain what just happened. I fetched with the Wooded Foothills, and I accidentally clicked on this Overgrown Tomb instead of on a Blood Crypt. Which is pretty bad. We were saved by the top of our library. Well, not necessarily saved, but we top decked this Blackcleave Cliffs, which was literally perfect, and we just play our Tarmogoyf here. So saved, sort of saved. Judge me if you will. That's fine. Either way, that's what happened. And we're still getting used to this replay client, so I warned you. Okay, opponent plays Scavenging Ooze. And here we're what are we thinking here? Ah, yes. We're gonna shoot this. He goes to eat our Wooded Foothills, and on the end step here, we're just going to K-command his Scavenging Ooze and make him discard. I think it's fine. So he discards Temur Battle Rage. He's going to send in his Tarmogoyf. I declined to block here, I just don't want to trade my Tarmogoyf for like something silly like a Lightning Bolt or a Seal of Fire or something. So he Thoughtseizes us and takes our other Kolaghan's command. Plays a Mishra's Bauble, targeting us, and passes the turn. So here we draw Inquisition, which is a very nice rip. So here we Inquisition. He's going to bolt us in response, interesting. And reveals that he has a forest. So Inquisition whiffs, but we do force action on that bolt, which clears the way for our Dark Confidant. So we're going to attack for 5, bring him to 8, run out this Dark Confidant, and the Seal of Fire. So we're going to 9, which is a little sketchy in the face of Temur Battle Rage, but we're just going to try to finish off our opponent here. He attacks for 5. Scary. I'm going to block with the Dark Confidant, just so we don't put ourselves in range of like 2 burn spells. He just runs out that forest we know about. He traverses the Uvenwald, grabbing a Death Shadow, playing it. It's a 5/5, but Death Shadow is only a 5/5, so he's forced to chump block this Tarmogoyf here. So he does, and we do have to do this because if that Death Shadow grows above our Tarmogoyf, we'll just never catch up to it. And here we play Lurrus. Well, we Seal Fire. We play Lurrus. And then we're going to Seal of Fire him and replay Seal of Fire. Opponent plays Grim Flayer. He's going to pass the turn, and this is a great turn. We draw a trophy. We get to trophy this Tarmogoyf, and then we double Seal of Fire the Grim Flayer and win the game. We get to Seal of Fire with the Lurrus, then bring back the Seal of Fire. Sorry, Seal of Fire, bring back the Seal of Fire, and then hit the Grim Flayer a second time and win the game. All right, so there you have it, guys. That's match 3, and we'll be right back for match 4. Guys, how's it going? This is match 4 for you, and looks like we're playing against another Lurrus deck. Surprise, surprise! What are the odds? And we can't keep this hand. It's just a 1-lander. It's just too risky, especially without a Bauble. Or there's just too high risk, and with only 20 lands, it's not likely that we hit our land drop on time. So definitely don't want to lose game 1 to such a silly thing. So we mulligan to 6, and here I think we just bottom the swamp. We've just got a bunch of lands, but we've got a redraw on Bauble, and going to 5 again. Talked about this a couple times now in this league. In these, what I assume at the time to be a grindy matchup, it's just not a good idea. So it turns out that our opponent's on some sort of burn deck. They lead with Sacred Foundry. They play a Soulscar Mage, so yeah, sorry, they are on Prowess, not Burn. And now it's our turn. Client being a little fussy, sorry. So we play Bauble, and we're going to Bauble ourselves. We see a Verdant Catacombs. Right? In any case, we go to try to shuffle it away. And the Bauble triggers, and we just draw another Verdant Catacombs anyway. So, pass to our opponent. They have a scary turn this turn. This is just I haven't played much Prowess. I've played a little, but I'm not sure that I've ever seen a draw like this. Our opponent just goes completely insane. They cast Manamorphose, Crash Through, Mishra's Bauble. So now they've got a 5/6 Soulscar Mage. They've drawn 1, 2, 3 with the Bauble, 4 cards, and they hit us for 5. So pretty wild turn there from our opponent. So here we just play Cliffs. We play Tarmogoyf, and we say we hope that Tarmogoyf can block, but our opponent's got 6 cards in hand. They go to their draw step, I think. Oh yeah, 6 cards after their draw step. So they Manamorphose. Seeing another turn like this. They Lightning Bolt our Tarmogoyf. Now this Soulscar Mage is huge. They hit us for 3. They attack for 4, and I feel pressured into a chump block. This turn, we decide we're just going to play Lurrus. See if we can chump and regain some of our life. So yeah, we play Lurrus and we Bauble. I'm going to skip through here. We play Lurrus, we Bauble, and pass the turn. Our opponent bolts our Lurrus, hits us for 3, hits us for another 3. We go to 4. It's looking real bad. Here we draw a Tarmogoyf, so that's not too bad. Our opponent has 3 cards in their hand, so it's very likely that we just die here. But we play to our outs. We play a Seal of Fire, Goyf, and then we run out the Peatland. In any case, the odds weren't very good, and we die. They just have the burn spell, and they have 2 burn spells rather, and they get us exactly for 4 there. Okay, guys, here we are for match 4, game 2, and sideboard plan here is pretty simple. We just cut everything that causes us to lose life, so triple Dark Confidant, 2 Thoughtseize, and Wrenn and Six, and we bring in the stuff that helps us gain life in the form of our 3 Collective Brutalities, which might be the best card possible in this matchup. Cratemaker, it's a body for Scavenging Ooze to eat, and it can ping a creature, so that's creature decks is pretty good. Spellbomb and Crypt, I think, are both relevant because he's playing Lurrus, and we've got EE, can possibly get a 2-for-1 in, so I think I'm pretty happy with all that stuff. We're going to be on the play here, and this looks good. We will keep it. We've got Collective Brutality, which is our most powerful spell we can cast. So here we're going to bauble ourselves, see what we've got on top. We reveal a bauble, and we decide to keep it. We run out of catacombs here. We'll draw the bauble, and pass the turn. So our opponent leads on bauble. They crack their bauble. Bauble. Let's hide all this stuff, sorry. It's just bothering me. Okay, so Bloodstained Mire is going to fetch a Sacred Foundry, and they're going to lead on Soul Scar Mage. So I play another bauble. And on the end step, I believe, what do we fetch here for? I believe a Blood Crypt. Let's skip to the end here. So yeah, we grab a Blood Crypt. And on our turn, we just go for a Brutality. We all modes. We discard Bauble and Kroxa. I think that I go for Bauble. Well, Bauble Kroxa is just pretty free here. Bauble's not actually doing a whole lot, but I like the idea of having it in our graveyard to interact with the Lurrus. And Kroxa's just a free pitch. So we want to keep all of our removal. We want to keep our way of reoccurring Kroxa, or rather Lurrus, if we can get that to that stage in the game. Oh, and we take light up the stage. Our options being between Lava Spike and light up the stage. Pretty easy take of light up the stage there. So he's going to Manamorphose. He's going to play Abbot of the Carol Keep, and once again, this is fairly new tech to me. So we've got a pretty healthy life total on the play on turn 3. So we're feeling pretty good. We've got nice stock of removal. We just play Seal, deal with this threat now, and hold up Lightning Bolt. So he's going to Lava Spike us here. He's to turn on light up the stage that he's drawn. He's going to run out the Seal of Fire, and that'll be it for him. We draw a Stomping Ground. So we have a pretty healthy life total here. This turn, so he's got no creatures in play. He's got the Seal of Fire. I've got Kolaghan's Command. Here, I don't mind just running out the Lurrus, because otherwise we're just not really doing a lot. I like the idea here of running out the Lurrus, playing the Seal. He's going to have to spend his Seal to get our Lurrus, and then we've got Seal up to deal with whatever threat he might play on his turn. So that's exactly what we go for. I feel like this buys us a lot of time. It gains us some life. It virtually gains us some life in that it deals with the Seal of Fire. And we can still buy back the Lurrus with this K command. So our opponent's going to fetch here. They grab a Stonecover Mountain. They play their own Lurrus. They cast Soul Scar Mage, and we are going to Seal of Fire away the Lurrus. And we draw Fatal Push. We keep drawing removal. So here, we're going to kill the Mage, return a Lurrus, and hold Bolt up. So that's exactly what we do. We hold the Bolt up. Opponent goes Manamorphose and concedes the game. So we will see you guys for Game 3. Alright guys, here we are for Game 3, Match 4. If you're still watching, thanks for hanging in there. And unfortunately, we have an unplayable 7. No land, so we have to mulligan. We decided to keep this one. We've got Lightning Bolt to interact with a turn 1 creature. Wrenn and Six isn't the best, but it is something to do on turn 2, and we've got a redraw on Mishra's Bauble. The main reason I want to keep this hand, unfortunately, is just because I don't think we can win on a mulligan 5. Especially if we don't draw 1 mana interaction in our next hand. So we do decide to keep this. And yeah, we bottom the mountain. And our opponent leads off with Bauble. He's going to crack the Bauble, targeting himself. I guess that's to decide whether or not he's going to fetch. And he leads with a Soul Scar Mage. Now we move to our turn. And we draw Lightning Bolt, which is a pretty good draw in the context of our hand. Here I decide that it's okay to shock myself. and here's why. This is not a traditional burn deck. They rely heavily on their creatures. We drew a second Lightning Bolt, and I think we can just win this game by bolting their creatures on curve. And if he goes Abbot next turn, and we get to minus it with Wrenn and Six, then we're in a pretty good position to make it so he can't really play any creatures. Then he's got to win off the back of burn spells, and that's hard for this version of the deck. So we draw a Tormod's Crypt, plays a Crash Through, so he's digging, so that's a good sign. He cracks Arid Mesa, and it looks like he found a Soulscar Mage. So there it is. It might have been... So he was either looking for the creature or looking for the second land. Either way, he found what he was looking for. We draw a Tarmogoyf for turn, which is a great draw. We play Tormod's Crypt to play around Lurrus. And then we just dram this Tarmogoyf here. 6 is a lot of toughness. So he's going to have to spend at least 2 burn spells on trying to kill this thing, which is virtual life gain. So I would rather untap the Tarmogoyf, but if we don't, it's because it gained us a lot of life. So here's the Abbot. It's going to find a Sacred Foundry, which is unfortunate because I think it was the land that they were lacking. So they played that Sacred Foundry untapped, and that means that Lightning Bolt and, well, it means that Wrenn and Six, it's very likely that Wrenn and Six isn't able to deal with this Abbot, considering the fact that they shock themselves. But we're gonna, my thought here is that we need to force some action. Sorry, their client's being a little difficult, so we're gonna skip through the end of their turn. So, we are on turn 3, yes. So, let's draw for turn. Oop, let's not do that. Draw for turn, we draw Tarmogoyf. Here, so I have a couple options. I can attack with a Tarmogoyf and play another Tarmogoyf. Seems pretty reasonable. I can play this Wrenn and Six and try to ping the Abbot, and then that probably doesn't work. Here I decide that I'm going to play this Wrenn and Six out. Looking back, it might have been better to just jam another Tarmogoyf, but I thought that this guy was doing a good enough job on blocking duty. That might have been a little... This might have been kind of a passive line. It's possible that we were just supposed to send in our Tarmogoyf and play another, and then, like, just hold it bolt, and it probably would have been good. Here, what I decided to do was force some action here. I'm sorry, I accidentally clicked the skip through turn. But basically what happened is I'm forcing the action. I go to shoot the Soulscar Mage, and he casts and flashes back his Lava Dart to protect his Soulscar Mage. So that's going to cost him the Lava Dart and a land. And our Tarmogoyf's still just a 5/6, so that's good. He crashes through. Now this is a scary turn. He goes crash through. He plays a Sunbait Canyon. And if it could get any worse, he passed our Tarmogoyf. So I feel pretty dead at this point. I'm filled with regret for not just playing the second Tarmogoyf. It all feels really bad. And this, I think, is a slip up from our opponent. He attacks our Wrenn and Six with this Abbot. So he hits us for 6 and deals with the Wrenn and Six. If we draw EE, we are laughing pretty hard. Okay, we do not. But we got... Sorry, replay client once again. Okay, so this turn, we play Lurrus, we buy back Wrenn and Six, we ping the Abbot, and that is exactly our play. Yeah, again, the replay client is not cooperating with me, and unfortunately I just have to read off these notes. So, play Lurrus, buy back W6, ping Abbot. So my thought process here is this is a chance to kill a creature. The Lurrus can likely trade with another creature and stabilize our life total. There's some consideration for playing the Tarmogoyf, but I think that I just want to get the value out of my graveyard by, or the value from my Lurrus. So that's the line that we go for. So let's just pass through this. We'll see the Lurrus come down. He's going to get the Wrenn and Six. He's going to ping the thing. So either way, we deal with 2 creatures, and playing the Lurrus as opposed to the Tarmogoyf is going to gain us 3 life. Okay, our opponent Tormod crypts us and plays their own. Or sorry, we Tormod crypt our opponent in response to their Lurrus. Sorry, I misspoke there. They cast a Soulscar Mage, and Lurrus is able to hold up this wall of creatures. So we're heavily rewarded here. We get to take some more value out of our graveyard. We get to play all of our things. It's looking very good for us. So we Abrupt Decay his creature. We play Mishra's Bauble to draw a card. Here we send in the Lurrus. If he wants to double block or triple block or whatever, we get to eat a threat, gain some life, and push another thing. If he double blocks, it's just free. If he triple blocks, that's still fine. We still just get to take a bunch of stuff off the board. So hypothetically, in a world where he triple blocks, we go kill the Soulscar Mage, deal damage, or kill a Soulscar Mage, deal damage to a Swift Spear, push the other Soulscar Mage, and then we can ping the Swift Spear, or whatever it might be, and that would completely clear his board, and we'd gain 3. Him having no cards in hand, so I was pretty cool with the attack there. I feel like there was no way for it to turn out well for him with that push in our hand. Here we run out the Tarmogoyf, and we just hold up a Fatal Push. Bauble will give us a Kroxa. I'm going to push a Soulscar Mage here before combat. Plays another Monastery Swift Spear, he plays another Soulscar Mage, and passes the turn. Here we Bauble off of our Lurrus. And here I believe I'm just looking for a Engineered Explosives. So we play a Peatland again, cycle it again. So we cycle it twice looking for our EE, we could not find it. Play a Mishra's Bauble. And then we get frisky with the Lurrus once again. I figured you didn't block the one time, you might not again. Again, I'm just still fine with trading my Lurrus for a creature and life. And yeah, I think this works out pretty well. It seems not great to trade my 3/2 that's reoccurring things for a 1/2, but the thing is, if he goes... like he draws like Crash Through, or Metamorphose Crash Through, some combination of things, then he's going to deal more damage by having more bodies in play. So I'm happy to trade off, kill a thing that can potentially become very large, and just gain 3, and then we just play another Tarmogoyf. So that's going to make it so, at worst, 1 creature might get through. And that's probably not enough to do 11 damage. Okay, so we draw a Seal of Fire off the Bauble. Our opponent goes Metamorphose. Our opponent goes Metamorphose. And this is exactly what I was talking about. He could, like, Crash Through, something crazy like that, and so there's a Seal of Fire. Right? And this is exactly what I was talking about with the, with blocking with Lurrus. Now, if we had a Lurrus in play, and he had another creature, and we didn't have this second Tarmogoyf, I mean, we just end off a little bit worse, because He's attacking with these creatures. I mean, they don't have trample granted, but they could. They could have. So we just put a Tarmogoyf under each thing. We're going to lose a Goyf here. He's going to seal one of them. We draw Collective Brutality. So eventually we had to draw these things. And now's the time. We Collective Brutality. We drain gain. Kill off one of his guys. Play a Seal of Fire. And I think that this was a bit of a preemptive scoop from our opponent, but they see the Seal of Fire and they just decide that's good enough. I mean, we do get to seal one of his guys, and then I was going to go seal, kill one of your guys, and then K-Command, kill the other, bring back Lurrus, attack with the Tarmogoyf, and then threaten to kill him next turn. But yeah, there it is. There's game 3 for you, match 4, and we'll see you guys shortly. Alright guys, if you're still hanging out, thanks so much. Recording this replay has been insane. One of my greatest regrets in life is not just recording this live, let me tell you right now. So here we are for match 5. This is the final match. And we are facing another Lurrus matchup. There's 4 out of 5 decks playing Lurrus now. So we're on the draw, and we decide not to keep this hand. Yeah, it's just pretty low impact. Our opponent has to just have like a really heavy creature draw for it to be good. So in the dark, we mulligan. We mulligan. All right. So we keep this. This is somewhat similar in that Seal of Fire needs to be good, but we do have Hand Disruption, Bauble's redraw. And we definitely don't want to go to 5 whenever we can avoid it. So we keep this, and we bottom the Swamp. Okay. And our opponent's going to start us off. So they play a Razor Verge Thicket, and I was pretty surprised to see a Razor Verge Thicket, but it's just a testament to just how many decks can play this freaking Lurrus card, man. So we draw Verdant Catacombs for turn. This turn, so we're gonna Thoughtseize. So I believe, yeah, we grab Overgrown Tomb, fire off this Thoughtseize now while the getting's good, and we take Vizier of Remedies. It was either Vizier or Devoted Druid. Since we're playing Wrenn and Six, it might have been better to take the Devoted Druid, but anyway, we took the Vizier Seer. We've got Seal of Fire to deal with Devoted Druid anyway. So yeah, my thought process was that if they have like Kitchen Finks or something, that they might be able to like sneak some value out. And at the time, anyway, I wanted to deal with that. So we draw a Trophy. That's not bad off our Bauble. They play Horizon Canopy, and they're just going to run out this Devoted Druid. Our next turn's pretty simple. We draw Bolt, which is a great draw. We run out Seal of Fire, and we just spend it right away. Don't let them untap with that thing. Pass the turn. They run out another Druid. Here we play Nurturing Peatland. We're going to bolt this Druid and just hold up Assassin's Trophy. At this point, we're just waiting for... let's update here. Devoted Druid. So we got to kill 2 Druids and a Vizier Seer. We're taking out the combo pieces. At this point, we're really just waiting to draw a threat. They drew the 3rd Devoted Druid. We have to Assassin's Trophy this, which feels kind of bad because we still don't know if they're playing like Collective Company. With a Finale of Devastation, it's not likely because they do need to play a high density of creatures. But anyway, we're out of removal. So at this point, I believe, do we run out the Lurrus? Yeah, I think we play Lurrus, run out Seal, yeah. And then that way we can just hold up some sort of interaction. And I think that motivates our opponent to concede the game. Yep. So he gives up. This is Punishing Firelock, guys. What can I say? Like, we went, like, Lurrus is crazy powerful. Like, look at what we did here. We went Seal, Bolt You, Assassin's, or Seal, Bolt, Assassin's Trophy, play Lurrus, play Seal, and now every single turn we're going to get to kill his things with Sealifier and Lurrus. Anyway, yeah, that was game 1, and we'll see you for game 2. Okay, guys, here we are. We're in game 2 of match 5, and we are on the draw. So we can't keep this hand. It's just one mountain. We do have Sealifier, but we don't want to get stuck on one land, especially just a mountain. And we do decide to keep this hand. We redraw that mountain, put him on the bottom. So this is a pretty good hand. We've got Inquisition into Wrenn and Six, and some removal and a Tarmogoyf. So very nice mix of cards here. Opponent plays Razor Verge Thicket, and they run out a Noble Hierarch. So it's a pretty good play from our opponent. You can accelerate into a high impact 3-drop, which is how this how they can sometimes steal games from us. So we're going to Inquisition our opponent, and we decide to take this Amardali's Call. We don't take the Duskwatch Recruiter. We just try to... I think that these cards are a little bit better because they can grab specifically what he needs. So yeah, it's between the Amardali's Call and the Finale of Devastation. We decide to just take the... We value the Amardali's Call a little bit more because instant speed. I mean, there's definitely windows where the Finale can be better because it puts the thing right into play. But him tapping out on his turn, I'm pretty okay with, at least at this stage in the game. So he plays Duskwatch Recruiter, and we're okay with that. But it is something that we have to deal with, so I believe here we just Abrupt Decay this Duskwatch Recruiter. We can't run out our Wrenn and Six and ping this Noble Hierarch because he'll just eat it with Recruiter. And Recruiter can really grind. You can find a ton of creatures off it, so pretty happy to just get it off the board here. And he taps out for that Finale of Devastation. So this is exactly what I was saying. I'm cool with him just tapping out. So now we know we're safe to like do a thing. And he puts a Voice of Resurgence into play. I'm not super surprised to see Voice of Resurgence. These decks tend to get a little grindier and less combo-y against us in the post-board games because we're pretty good at picking apart what they're trying to do here. So now we have a choice to make. Sorry about that. Yes. So this turn, we just run out of Tarmogoyf, and we play a tapped Shockland. Now, Abrupt Decay and Wrenn and Six aren't great options in this window. If we Abrupt Decay the Voice, yes, he'll only get 1 token, and we kind of like get that over with. And it's only a 2/2. But Tarmogoyf can just kind of hold off this Voice. And I'm just not super afraid of the 2/2 right now. So the plan here is to just play this tap Stomping Ground, run out this Tarmogoyf, and then have the Tarmogoyf blocking for the Wrenn and Six on the following turn, and hopefully this Wrenn and Six can wreak a little bit of havoc. So we're trying to set up a position where this Wrenn and Six can succeed. So he plays a Devoted Druid, and he plays Duskwatch Recruiter. So this really sucks. He's going wide. He's got a combo piece, and he's got a grind piece, really making us think. He's got like a nice... he's got nice grindy cards and a combo piece. That's what I'm trying to say. He passes to us. We run out the Wooded Foothills. And on this turn, I believe I fetch Shock Decay Druid. Because, so we're going to fetch Shock Decay Druid and just play another Tarmogoyf. We're going to... Now that he's gone wider, we also need to go wider to help this Wrenn and Six out. And... Also, I think we're supposed to decay the Druid over anything else because the Druid's threatening to just kill us, right? If the top deck's a Visitor Seer, we just die. So we're pretty priced into that play. We hit that Druid, we play a Tarmogoyf, we don't attack, we pass the turn. So he plays another Druid. This guy has got Druids for days between these two games. Passes the turn. We draw Fatal Push. Fatal Push, wonderful draw here. So, what do? Now we can play Wrenn and Six and ping this Noble Hierarch. Seemingly low impact, but it does cut him off of mana, which is quite important at this against this deck. Because if we can take him off mana, we can kill the Duskwatch Recruiter with a push and ping the Noble Hierarch, and then what that does, or we can kill the Devoted Druid rather, that just pulls him so far away from combo. And also eventually we're going to have to kill this voice, and this Noble Hierarch just makes that voice bigger. So here comes the Wrenn and Six. And sorry, I'm explaining things kind of weird. I'm pretty tired at this point. So he responds by floating some mana. So now I believe we went to combat here to force him to spend that mana. So he cycles his Horizon Canopy. We push the Devoted Druid. And sorry, that's what I was trying to get at with mana. The Devoted Druid provides mana. The Noble Hierarch provides mana. And to just as a bonus, I didn't expect him to do this, but he cycled the Horizon Canopy. So now he's stuck on 2 lands. So for him to combo is going to be very, very difficult. He's going to have to cast these spells one at a time. And here we get a little frisky with the Tarmogoyf, because we've got to end this game, and the voice token is not going to be very large. He could send both of his guys at my Wrenn and Six, but then I get to eat his Duskwatch Recruiter. Perfectly fine with that. So here the Duskwatch Recruiter is going to flip. And we draw K-Command. He's got 1 card in hand, or 3 cards in hand rather. Here I just decide I'm going to combo up with the K-Command and the Wrenn and Six ping to get this thing off the board. And just start pressuring. So we send in 1 Tarmogoyf, because we still have value for our Wrenn and Six. If we're going to eat 1 more threat, it's done exactly what it's supposed to do. Okay, pass to our opponent, who's obviously in a very terrible position at this point. He's very tight on mana. We've got pressure. We've got it all. He casts Amardali's Call. And it finds a Devoted Druid. He plays the Devoted Druid. He runs out of Wooded Foothills. And we draw Peatland here. We're just looking for some removal. So we're going to cycle this this Peatland, because our Wrenn can't ping anything away anyway. So we're going to cycle this Peatland. We draw another Wrenn and Six. So we're going to ping his Devoted Druid, play a second Wrenn and Six, ping Devoted Druid again. Now he's super far from combo. He's got, we hit 1, 2, is it 3? 1, 2. We've got 3 of his 4 Devoted Druids. Possibly all of them. Like I was saying, post board they tend to trim a little back from that. We attack with our Tarmogoyf. And our opponent fetches with the Wooded Foothills, grabs a Temple Garden, and I believe he just decides enough is enough. And boom, we get our first 5-0 ever. And you guys, thanks for hanging in there. Again, one of my biggest regrets in life is not just recording this live. But I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you did, please consider subscribing. If you think, I know I mentioned a few lines that I could have done differently, but if you see any that I missed, please leave them in the comments below. We can learn together. And yeah, have a great day. Bye.